In this video, we shall take a look at an APT in which the attacker exploits a cross-site scripting (XSS) vulnerability to inject malicious code into the corporate website of the target organization. In the initial access stage, our attacker is using a drive-by compromise technique. In short, when a user within or outside of the target organization tries to browse the corporate website, they will be redirected to a malicious website that will infect their computer with malware. Here we see the website of the target organization. Here's the attacker in their command and control server. They choose the configuration of their attack and execute the cross-site scripting attack that will redirect the victims to the malicious website. This leads us to the next stage, execution. As we said, the attacker has infected the website of the target organization with a malicious code that will exploit a vulnerability in the victim's browser, infecting their machine with malware. In this case, the execution method is exploitation for client execution. The victim, perhaps an employee within the organization, visits the website, and an exploit will run on their machine and infect it. Victim browsing the website after the code has been injected. Let's take a look at what happens behind the scenes. Here we see a list of the processes running on the victim's computer. And we can see that new processes are being created under the browser process. The malware has been installed on the machine. At the persistent stage, the malware adds itself to the startup of the operating system, so it will start automatically when the machine is rebooted. The attacker will also use process injection for privilege escalation, and implement a watchdog to keep the malware process running, as we will see. In the defense evasion phase, the malware content is obfuscated by a built-in functionality so it will be harder for security systems to detect it. Here in the command and control server, the attacker executes a post-exploitation step in which the watchdog will inject itself into other processes in the system to make sure that the malware keeps running even in the event that it's been detected and terminated by the victim. Here, the attacker enables the watchdog feature. On the infected machine, the victim detects and kills the malware process, SVA-update.exe. Here we see the watchdog process on the victim's machine. The watchdog has launched the malware process again, SVA-update.exe. In the next step, the attacker wants to get greater credential access for the next stages of their attack. They use a fake login window as an input capture, so any credentials that the victim types into their machine will be sent to the attacker's command and control server. The attacker sends the fake login window from the command and control server. On the machine, the window appears. If the user closes the window or enters incorrect credentials, the window will reappear, effectively giving the user no choice but to enter their correct credentials. The credentials that are typed in are sent back to the attacker's command and control server, so the attacker can use them to attack or infect other resources within the organization. Now for the discovery stage. The attacker wants to map the target organization's network so they can infect more machines. In this APT, they will use network service scanning. The attacker sends the internal port scanner from their command and control server to scan the organization's network. After a while, the results will appear on the command and control server, giving the attacker the information they need for the next stages of their attack. Here we see the map of machines in the network that the network scan has discovered. Now the internal network has been mapped. In the lateral movement step, the attacker exploits remote servers to infect other machines in the target organization's network. From the command and control server, our attacker will send a worm, malware with self-spreading capabilities, to infect other machines in the network. In this APT, a DNS worm is selected, and will use DNS protocol to infect the other machines. From the victim side, the hosts file is being overwritten on different machines in the network, as we see here. The host, it looks like nothing has been changed. But if we scroll down, we see the added values which will overwrite the IP address of different websites, including Google different regions and the organization's website as well, redirecting the user to the malicious website instead. This is what happens when the user tries to browse one of the websites on the host's file list, this time the organization's own website. They get redirected to the original malicious website used by the attacker to infect the machine. A new session is created on the attacker's command and control server, showing every additional machine that has been infected and is now being controlled by the attacker. The host file is changed on all the infected machines, and any user trying to browse the website will be infected as well. Now that the attacker controls more machines, they launch the collection phase of their attack, looking for sensitive files stored on the machine to leak before encrypting them. In our APT scenario, we now see the victim's files from their point of view on the infected machine. The attacker sends the command to steal the files from the command and control server. These are the stolen files that have been uploaded to the attacker's command and control server. The files are now available and the attacker can view their content. Communication and data transfer are being carried out via web services. Now the final stage of the attack, impact. The attacker wants to leak the internal website database before encrypting its content, exploiting a SQL injection vulnerability to access and modify the database content. The attacker selects their mode of attack, database ransom. They click execute, and we see database ransomware appear in the machine info for the injected machine. The results are in. Content from the victim's machine is returned to the command and control server. Let's take a look at what's happening to the database on the victim's machine. This is the data before the encryption. And this is how the encrypted data looks after the attack. The database of the website has been encrypted, so no one can log into the website other than the attacker, and all the information held in the website, which may include payment details, email addresses, passwords, and other sensitive data, is now in the hands of the attacker.